This is a video by Richmond. Today we are working on a Ford Focus. This happens to be a 2007 model. And the problem we're having today is we have a check engine light. It's a P0128. So we're going to get in there and see if we can fix it. The two most common problems on that code on this car are either the thermostat or the coolant temp sensor. So what we're going to do is we're going to check the coolant temp sensor with a scan tool and a thermometer. And if they're close, well then it's the thermostat. Most likely the thermostat is open and the temperature will be quite low. So we're going to do that now. Now we want to make sure that the coolant temp sensor is operating properly on this P0128 code. So this vehicle is up to normal operating temperature right now. And it's going to show very low. So we're going to check the top hose, the outlet at the top hose, and see what our temperature is reading. It should be pretty close. So it was right around 130, 131, so about 10 degrees. So it looks like that the thermostat is the problem. Now that we know that the thermostat is the problem, we're going to get in there and we're going to replace it. First thing we're going to do is remove the negative battery cable from the battery. And the next thing we're going to do is get underneath there and drain the coolant. On the lower left-hand corner of the radiator, you'll see the drain. It's that white piece right there, 19mm hex. We have a 3/8 hose on the drain. And we're going to drain it now. Up here on top to speed up the draining of the coolant, we can remove our cap. Now, if you check your repair manual, you'll see that they recommend that you take the radiator fan out of the way and then remove the AC compressor to get at that thermostat. Well, once you're underneath there and you see how that compressor is located, you might want to do it this way. There's going to be an alternate way that we're going to do this job. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this right passenger headlight to give us access to where the thermostat is located in this area right over here. It's pretty tight. Next thing we got to do is take these little push pins off this piece right here because we got to remove it. There's one right there and there's one there, a total of 3. And we remove that panel. Here is the last little push pin. And there's the panel. Next thing we got to do is to remove the grill. It's held on by this 10mm bolt. That one right there. After we take those bolts out, we got this little piece right down there that will hold it in. And there is another one right there. We just lift up on it, and that grill should come right out. So let's do that now. Alright, here's the last bolt. And okay, that's loose. There's the grill. Next thing we got to do is to remove the right headlight. It's held in by 3 10mm headed bolts. One here, and one way down in the back on the side, which is hard to get at. So let's tackle the hard one first. We're going to remove the fasteners here and partially push the inner fender well back so we can get at that bolt in there. Peel back the liner here and we can see the bolt that we're after. I'm looking for it. There it is, right there. So we're gonna go up there and remove that bolt now. This is the back of the headlight, and these are the connectors that you'll have to remove. That black one and the brown one. Okay, all off. This is the last bolt. Our electrical connectors have been removed behind the headlight. There it is. All out. Now we got to remove this electrical connector from the power steering pump. There's a little retainer we got to pull back. Alright, oops, I got it. It should be released. There it is. There's the little piece I pulled back. Just like that. Doop. And off she came. Here is the tool that I'm using for the clamps, just a regular pair of needle nose pliers. I would prefer to use a special pliers for those spring clamps, but we're in such a tight spot down here. Now what I did is I moved that clamp right there on the small hose to the position that it's in now. It's facing more in a downward position. So I moved it there, so we're ready to slide it back. And I've moved the large hose clamp in that position right there. So now we can slide them back. Alright, here is the thermostat housing. And we have 3 8mm headed bolts. So we're going to remove those now. That's one of them. There's another one. There's the 3 bolts. Had a little problem getting one of the thermostat bolts out. We live up in the salt belt. So one of the heads of the bolt was rounded off. Here's what the socket did. 6-point too, by the way. Look at that. Just slipped right over. So, Rich, how did you get it off? We use this. Quarter-inch socket on there. gripped that head like it was nothing, took it right off. Highly recommend this tool. I don't know how I would have got it off without it. Alright, we got the bolts out. And there is the thermostat. So now we gotta make sure the surface down there is clean and put in our new one. Okay, the new thermostat is in. We cleaned the surface and we only used a 1/4-inch ratchet, little wobbler on the end, give us a little movement because it's a little tight down there. Now from here it's just a matter of reversing our steps, putting the hoses back on, headlight, grill. The engine is cold, so we'll put our coolant in and we'll bring it up to temperature, put the heater on. We want to make sure that all the air is out of the system. And once it's up to temperature and the thermostat is open, we'll make sure that the coolant is in the proper height here in the expansion tank, pressure tank. And we'll take it for a short ride just to make sure that we have no leaks. Everything's okay. And that should cure our P0128 trouble code on our Ford Focus.